I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Renovator. I'm your host, Coach Phil. Today we were talking about bold visual stories to crush your business goals. There's been a bit of a hiccup, but before we jump into the hiccup, here's a shameless plug from our franchise sponsor. So are you an entrepreneur, business owner, sales professional? Do you have a question that you would like to ask a business coach? Well, guess what? I am one. I'm actually one of several hundred from around the globe, and we have a number of topics that we work in. But four key pillars would be time, team, money, and exit strategy. Now, the exit strategy could be retirement, succession planning, or it could be now that the business is expanded and doing even more, maybe there's another dream, another business, another thing that you want to chase and make happen. Well, when you talk to a business coach, maybe you can get some answers around that. I think this is an invitation for have a 20 to 30 minute conversation with a business coach, whether it be myself or one of my peers. Because if I don't have the resolve or the information to deal with your question, I can certainly pass you on to somebody else. So with that said, life is like a box of chocolates in that movie with Forrest Gump in it. And one of the things that's in that movie was that you just quite never know when you open up the box of chocolates what you're going to get. So today I'm waiting for a guest. I think he's trying to get in. We're having a little bit of a technical challenge, and fingers crossed we get that sorted out. In the meantime, I wanted to talk about something I've been a big fan of, and it's in my show often, and it's this. And I have a really good friend who's very creative, and she's an entrepreneur and helping bold visual stories come to life, but in a different way. How she does it is by developing and creating images that are long-lasting, relationship-building strategies. And I'm going to go off camera just for a second. And I ordered some more of my wonderful cards that she created for me based on my request. And lo and behold, a really great surprise for me, along with the cards that I ordered, was this. It's actually a picture frame that I can, three-dimensional image that I can put on the wall. It just showed up yesterday. So I will put that up to remind myself that I'm also wonderful. So I think my guest has figured out how to get on, and we're going to go live here in a momento. I'm going to bring him up. Just hang on. So my guest is an interesting dude. He's actually a recovering accountant. He's given that up, though, not for Lent, but he's given it up for chasing his passion. And he's shared a bunch of images with me, and I'm going to share a few of them with you today. But his name is Lee, and he loves to capture bold stories. His passion is photography, not accounting, he found out. And he's been an avid amateur for a long time, but he's turned it into a profession. He grew up in northern Alberta, which is part of Canada for those of you around the world that don't know where that is. And he learned the power of hard work and the love for the job while helping his appearance in their drugstore. He then went on to work, as I said, into the accounting space and in the oil industry, finally returning to his roots, entrepreneurialism and photography. And as an entrepreneur, one of the things we need to be is a flexible, adaptable, innovative, persistence, and resilience. And I had an opportunity to live that this morning. So let me bring him on. Here's Lee right now. There he is. Look at that guy.
Hey, I'm so sorry, my friend.
Hey, no worries. It all worked out.
How you doing?
I'm well. It looks like you're living in your truck.
I am. I got mixed up on a few things, but I'm ready to go.
That's all right. That's all good. So thanks for fitting this show into your hectic schedule and getting off the mountain just for a little bit to talk to us today. So bold visual stories to crush your business goals. That's kind of the theme today. I've kind of alluded that you're no longer an accountant. Friends of mine that are former CPAs and accountants are also have said that they're recovering CPAs. I don't know if that's you or not, but
yeah, no, I am a recovering accountant. I have to say, it provided a lot of great things for me in my past, but it was time to move on.
Cool. Hey, you know what? I don't have my background on. See, it's about being adaptable and flexible. I don't like the blackness. There, that's better.
Yeah.
It's like we climbed the mountain and we're looking at the sky.
Exactly.
I saw some images like that today.
So, how's it going, bud?
It's going really well. It's going really well. So, as you know, I'm in the space of sales, marketing, and mental fitness. And I know you're a pretty fit guy. I've seen some of the photographs. Yes, those are teasers. I'm going to show them here shortly. So you can have a peek at them and see what they're all about. In terms of the topic today, bold visual stories to crush business goals, how does that show up, or how do you do that for individuals in business?
Well, you know, I read a stat once that's words are important when you're marketing, whether it's your website or pamphlets or any written material. But I read a stat somewhere that like 80% of the time will remember whatever your message is if there's a visual with it. And there's no better visual, in my humble opinion, perhaps I'm a bit biased, than a great bold photograph. And so, when clients phone me up, I try to head out and capture those, understand what their key messages that they want to do in their marketing goals, and then go capture images for them to help them achieve those goals.
Right. I'm going to bring something up here. Maybe. Like that, you mean?
Yeah. Well, that one there is actually from the summit of Mount Beng, on the very western edge of Banff National Park. Friends and I went out for 4 days in the backcountry, and I think on day 3, actually after I injured myself on day 2, day 3 I managed to recover, and we summited Mount Beng. And that's actually looking northeast into K country. So, yeah.
For non-Canadians, K country is not that coffee machine that you use. It's actually Canadask country, and it's a great, wild, crazy space of mountains and lakes and all sorts of cool stuff. Now, I've never climbed any of these, so I live vicariously through your photos.
Well,
and your stories.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun that day. Actually, it was a relatively easy summit that day, but we were out with about 4 or 5 people, and it was a lot of fun.
This is another one. Now you're not at the summit; you're at the base of a mountain. Looking, I think I recognize this one, maybe, or it looks very.
Yeah, it's a very popular mountain in Canadask country. It's Mount Chester. And friends and I were out for for us, when we go out to these hiking in these iconic places or in the mountains, we often will leave very early in the morning or very late in the afternoon to try to beat the crowds. And that's exactly what we did this day. We headed out into K country, and on the way out, we hit sunset just perfectly and managed to capture what I call chest of gold.
Oh, good one. I like that. Let's look at another one here. This one's spectacular.
Yeah, that was the start of a day that friends and I wanted to traverse Abraham Lake. It's in the west central foothills, basically the beginning of the mountains in the west central foot of the Rockies, just west of Rocky Mountain House. And so we arrived for sunrise, and on a bit of a cold day, and found what I love about wild ice skating is you find cool structures like that in the ice, and Mother Nature can be so creative and one of the best sculptors in the world, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I
And
totally
so
agree.
we waited for the sun to rise over the peak and captured that moment.
That's fantastic. So, how does that correlate for business owners? Like, those are beautiful pictures of our mountains west of where we live.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not sure.
so those photos that you just showed are what I love to do in
Yeah.
terms of my own personal adventures. I translate that same vision, that same desire to find unique, bold, creative perspectives for clients. That's how it translates.
Yeah. Cool.
So if a client were to phone me up and say, "Hey, Lee, I primarily focus in on stuff clients want on the outdoors, and I take my thirst and desire and passion for the outdoors and translate that into getting them bold, unique stories to help them achieve their business goals."
Gotcha. I'm just going to do something else here with the magic technology. It just takes me a minute. I didn't have it quite set up.
But I've also had clients phone me up or potential clients and say, "Hey, I love some of your landscape photos, and I want to showcase the area." Right. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try and do this. This is kind of an interesting app I'm using. It gives you lots of flexibility. It just takes me a little bit to get it sort of straightened out. Here we go. I'm going to jump onto your website right now,
yes, sir.
and we should see that there. I'm going to get rid of us for a minute so we can make it bigger. And this is where you could find more about this young adventure photographer kind of dude. One more thing I want to do for you. That's his URL if you want to go check him out. How do I get rid of that? I don't want to learn more. Whoops. There we go. So artist, explorer, storyteller, guide, and coach. And if you want to find out more about what he does and what he's up to, some of his accomplishments are listed right here. You might not be able to read them very well. Not sure. But if you go to his website, it's plain as day because I'm looking at it. I can read it. But on the screen here and the live stream today, I don't think this is what it could be. So there
Going out and exploring for and in ice caves, and that was, although this one was taken in the summer, and a buddy of mine took that photograph of me.
I like the one we used for the promo piece. This one here.
Yeah,
that's a really good photo. It's too bad that I can't show the end of your camera because the perspective is pretty fascinating when you see because I've seen the whole picture without the about Lee on it.
Yeah, and that was taken at Westwind Pass.
Very cool. So you hang out with some other photographers. So if you don't have the passion or the vision, I think you could probably help somebody out regardless with your community of photographers. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Whether, if they're looking for, if clients are looking for internal stuff or wedding or like headshot type of stuff, I've got a whole community I can reach out to help them out with. And also help other photographers out with my own workshops. So,
tell us more about that.
So my passion when it comes to the business is just translating my passion for photography into helping others. So even if you're a client, like I know I've had clients reach out to me and say, "Hey, can you capture a bunch of social media shots for me?" And I'm like, "Well, I could go out and do it, and it'd be very expensive, or it could be expensive, given that you need to post daily, or I can help you understand some basic fundamentals of photography, and you can go out and capture the moment and post it on straight onto your social media accounts." So that's one way, is helping commercial clients or individuals that are very passionate about photography. I love to help them, teach them in formal workshops that I've got coming up, or in private mentorships or tours.
Cool. What's one of your favorite that tugs at your heart or supports what you're doing when you've helped somebody out, whether it be a client or a wannabe photographer?
When I get the message just saying, "Wow, Lee, that was so helpful that you helped me get this photograph for my business, or help me take this photograph that I can hang on my wall and be proud of and brag to my friends and family about." That really gets me going.
Cool.
Brings a tear to my eye sometimes.
Do you have an example of somebody who has helped get you to that state, that emotional state?
Yeah, I did a workshop last summer, an introduction to black and white, and there was a lady who was a teacher, interior designer, and had just retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And has had, like me, her passion photography simmered throughout her careers. And then we got out there, and she was just so excited, running around like a chicken with her head chopped off, trying to capture her own version of the stories, and was so excited when she got home, um, about some of the stories that she captured, right? And she had a great eye. She just needed to focus it in on from a photography side of things, and so it didn't take much to help her out, but that was a great moment.
And I know the value of taking courses around photography because I've done them. And, some people are good at it. Some people can learn and flourish and move on, like you're talking about her. I was on the other side of it, realized, you know what? I'm going to leave that to the pros. I did try. I did take some courses, and it didn't matter. I guess I didn't have the burning desire, the passion that you did to push through the things when I thought it was a good picture. And then somebody who really had a good eye said, yeah, no, it's not. It's better than a snapshot, but it's not going to have a lot of emotional impact and value to the rest of the world. And they did that out of kindness. They weren't ripping me a new body part. And I tried, and I just realized, you know what? That's not my forte. It's not my strength, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, you know what? Not everything is right.
No, it's
What
not.
what you do is the toughest part about the that I've had the hard to get used to, as a recovering accountant, is the marketing side of a business, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting and it's fun, um, and I enjoy it, but it's not my forte, right? It's the actual teaching. So
Yeah.
we all have our own interests and desires, right? But I firmly believe, as a recovering accountant, if you have a passion and want to dedicate some time to it, you can become a creative soul.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it could be photography or it could
Yeah,
be something else. Like
could
a
be
friend of mine who
absolutely.
has 2 degrees in the creative sciences. Uh, she wasn't an accountant, but she was selling real estate and working with a family business that she married into, and she did okay at it. I mean, actually, did really well at selling real estate and doing all that stuff. But without getting into the minutia and the details of it, wasn't her passion. And something happened with her that was the catalyst for her to stop doing it. And when the pandemic showed up, that was one of the levers to get her to do what she's really good at. So she stops selling advertising and real estate related things, and created a company. And I'm gonna brag on her today because I started off with the filler show today, talking about her. I just ordered some new cards from her. This is one of the things that's important to me, wonderful. And it's spelt that way on purpose. And then the other thing was she told me there was a gift included with the cards, and it's this. Look at this. It's a 3-dimensional.
Oh, wow, sweet.
For my wall.
Exactly.
It's
so
one of
cool.
my themes. Yeah. So I started off the show today as a plug for her and a plug for me. And I'm going to show you something that I have here. I'm just looking over where I hide it. And it's right here. Look at that. Oh. And
That's fantastic.
The significance about this and what we're talking about, and you just brought up that whatever it is you're doing, if it's not what you want to do, you can grow and move and learn how to live your passion and live your purpose. You don't have to stay in that space where you started off with. That was then, and this is now. And this word, wonderful, is spelt that way on purpose. I was introduced to this concept about 4 decades ago from a fellow by the name of Leland Val Vanderwall, a Dutch Canadian that was living in Edmonton when I met him, and he was a change agent. He was teaching the secret of the secret before the secret was unraveled or discovered in the movie. So it's about the law of vibration or the law of thought and the law of energy. And we are all energy. Everything is energy. And so what he said here is go act like your unique, wonderful self, because you are wonderful. Just go search for your wonderment. So that's why I'm a big fan of that.
No, absolutely. You know what? Similar thing. The company I worked for in the industry and the patch decided I needed a career change in 2016, and I'm so glad they did.
Right. They knew you better than you knew you.
Exactly. Exactly. They saw me staring out my window at the mountains, going, "I wish I was there and not here."
And so your wish was their command.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Let's throw another picture or two. Just going to bring it up here. Just hang on. There we go. So we've seen that one. Let's move to another one. There's a cool one.
Yeah.
Now, is that in the fall?
Yeah. So, that's in Greenland, actually, of all places. I had the fortunate ability to head to Greenland myself, actually, on a workshop. So I was the attendee instead of the person delivering it. And we were hiking to it is the most beautiful coastline I've ever seen in the world. And on our way, we discovered this wonderful scene. It had snowed the night before. And so the mountains was snow capped. And then I just love the cool versus warm tones. And we were there in the 3rd week of September. And I thought I was going to miss the fall color season. Going to Greenland, I never expected to see fall colors.
Right.
One of the wonderful surprises that when we got there was the lichen on the rocks was a fire engine red. And then the low-lying willows had this warm yellow-orange tone to it. It was wonderful.
It is cool. Let me see if there's another one up here. Look at that one.
Yeah.
You're balancing the moon on the peak.
Exactly. So we are I was out again in search of wild ice with a buddy of mine, trying to skate. And it was near Spray Lakes. And we noticed the moon was, when we first got to the lake, we noticed the moon was up in the left-hand corner of the frame. And we figured it would land on the peak or be pretty close to the peak. And so we set up and just waited for that moment to happen.
That's cool. I'm going to give that one its own little.
Yeah. No, that was a very cool moment to capture because you had to be on the ball to get that one, because I think about, the moon moves very quickly. So 10, 15 seconds later, it was gone. Like it was not in that position, right?
Yeah. So. Timing's everything, right?
Timing, in photography, timing can be everything. And you can get lucky on like you did on that day, but a lot of it takes some planning and understanding where things are going to be when they are. And that's another thing I go, in terms of my clients, make sure I plan to be in those locations to get the nice lights and wonderful scenes for them.
Cool. There's another place I could find you on Facebook. And a place I don't go very often, but I know lots of people go there. That's right here. Instagram.
Instagram, yep.
Cool. Let me go back to sharing the photos, because this one is actually made me go, wow. Here it comes. It's right here.
I wanted to see what one said. Oh yeah, this one. Oh, this was an amazing day. This is probably this will go down in one of the most epic adventure days in the mountains. So this lady, Sasha, she lives in Jasper. She's a huge adventurer herself, but she's also an aerialist. And she reached out to a buddy of mine and I and said, hey, love to hang out with you guys. She saw some of our photos. Love to hang out with you guys one day when you go on an adventure. So we arranged for her and a big group of us to head out onto a glacier and find an ice cave. Well, we knew this ice cave existed, so we're going to head to the ice cave. And we had a couple ice climbers with us. She's an ice climber. So they set up a big rope. It was anchored into the glacier. And then once she was warmed up and ready to go, she put on about an 5 to 8 minute aerial performance for us in front of the mouth,
glacier.
In the mouth of a ice cave on a glacier.
Wow.
Amazing lady. Like super athletic, super nice, and big adventure, right? She had by far the biggest pack of all of us to carry all her gear in, because she had other gear that she helped model with, and we had a great day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that was the last one I had in my. Yeah, it is. I think. Oh no, it's not. I fibbed.
Yeah, no, that was the same day. Actually, that's the same. It's just a different perspective. The same mouth of the ice cave. It's just. I believe nature is the best sculptor in the world, and so when I find snow and ice sculptures, that's like from a personal passion point of view. That's what I love to capture, and that's the mouth of the cave. So she was below.
Yeah.
That part, in the little opening there, and then there's a big cornice of snow above.
So who was the brave soul that anchored the rope in for her?
There was 2 ice climbers and herself.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And there's one other one. It didn't quite show up as well as I saw it.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows, but that's Lodge Blade. He's a famous, becoming a famous Canadian skater. He used to skate for Team Canada, and now he's doing some wonderful things in promoting inclusivity and figure skating. And he reached out again to a friend of mine, and to do some shooting, and I was so fortunate to go along with him. And that's at Lake Louise. So we had a great day at Lake Louise, and he's famous for his backflips.
On skates, wow.
On skates.
I was a goalie. I never did a back. Well, not on purpose.
No, I joke with the Lodge, and he says, it's all about speed. It's all about speed. You can do it, Lee. You can do it. I'm like, yeah, no.
I'm with you there, Lee.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. Even when I was more athletic, I would still not have done it. Not intentionally, like, no. And I think this is the last one. This is pretty spectacular, standing on the peak of a mountain somewhere in the.
Yeah, so this is along my favorite highway in all of the world that I've been on, the Icefield Parkway between Lake Louise and Jasper. That's a buddy of mine standing on the summit of Cirque Peak. We managed to hike up that peak in August last year, and that's overlooking Bow Glacier, Iceberg Lake, and then the Bow Glacier Falls. So,
yeah, so the lake would be not recommended. Well, I guess people are into that ice. What do you call it? When they jump into the cold tank.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trek up there. It's a bit of a scramble, so you got to have some technical to get up to that lake. But it is doable for sure.
Yeah, but it's not a hot tub.
No. That's like, well, you can see it. It's other than that little wee river, it's right at the base of a glacier. So you're talking ice cold water.
Yeah. Yeah. But after a long hike up there, you'd be hot, sweaty, and it would be nice.
Oh, perfect. On a 30-degree day, it'd be a perfect way to cool off.
Yes. Anyway, that's a pretty spectacular. That's pretty much the last one that I have there. I did put one more slide in here, but we've kind of already seen this, but it's such an important piece of who I is that I'm going to put it in there anyway.
Yeah, no, I pursued, and we all do this. We have many goals in life, one of which is to support and help our family out.
Yeah.
And I had an interest in accounting for sure. And then as the career changed, I got interested in other things. But I think my big driver was at the end certainly was the financial side, because the oil patch pays so well. And I think honestly, I think that we joke about the company knowing me better than me, or at least willing to take the risk, right? And now that I'm pursuing the almighty passion, and hopefully earning the almighty dollar along the way, and it's so much more enjoyable, and you do so much better at it because you're passionate about it.
Are you happier?
Oh, I'm way happier.
Are you lighter?
I'm way lighter. Like
Yeah.
I left. I was, I've dropped 6 or 7
Well, that's nice.
waist sizes, right?
Yeah, no, that's cool. I was also thinking though about if you're in a position doing something that's not your passion and not your purpose, it weighs you down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I had a
Emotionally,
heavy weight.
spiritually.
I had a heavy weight on my shoulders, right? And Kim, you talk to my wife, and she says I'm way happier, right? So, and it's because I'm enjoying life, right?
Well, life is a journey, not a destination.
Absolutely. And every day, right? Not that I don't have bad days, but a bad day in photography or a bad day in the mountains is better than a great day downtown, in my humble opinion.
Well, no, I totally agree with that. That's why I do what I do. One of there's, as you can see at the top above me, it says
Yeah,
sales,
exactly.
marketing, and mental fitness. And it's
Oh,
all about living your purpose every day as close to it as you possibly can. Whether it's
absolutely.
climbing mountains, taking photos, or if it's working with individuals and getting an email where you think you're not making an impact, and the next day you get an email and they say, "Wow, it's only been a few sessions and my life is changing. This is awesome. I've woken up to things I'd forgotten about myself, and I'm moving in a direction to live more into my potential." So when I get that kind of feedback, it pulls me towards where I'm trying to get to. I'm not trying to get to, but growing into. So having people like you on the Business Renovator to share their experience, their excitement, their passion, a bit of their journey. Obviously, we in 30 minutes or a little bit over 30 minutes, we can't get into a deep dive into everything. But if people and when people are interested to find out more about you, they now have been exposed to you, whether they see this live today or if it's on the replay later. Oh, and by the way, if it is on the replay, go hashtag replay and let us know where you're watching us from.
Absolutely.
And
The mental fitness, I'm so glad, the sales and marketing part, but you can't achieve either of those goals without mental fitness. And so
yeah,
it's so great that you have that there as a key piece to it.
it absolutely. Everything starts with a thought. That at least that's not made by Mother Nature. If it's made by us, whether it be a photograph, a cell phone, or whatever, first was the thought here.
Yeah.
So hang out for a minute and I'll be right back. And thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, there you go. It was an insight into some of the beautiful landscape in and around where we both live. But more importantly, life is a journey. And you just heard one man's viewpoint about that. So if you know of somebody who has an interesting story that would benefit by being introduced to the world via the Business Renovator, certainly make an introduction and we'll get him or her on the air, share their message and go from there. Thanks for being here today with us on the Business Renovator. And remember, go act like your wonderful self. Until the next episode of the Business Renovator, I am Coach Phil, and we'll see you on the other side.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.